Cool. So these are time blocks, and I'll get you guys the template, the link for this. You can make a copy of it for yourselves. You can, obviously manipulate it in whatever capacity you want. By no means am I suggesting that yours should look like mine. In fact, it will most likely not. And the important thing to understand here is that everybody has different flow patterns, biorhythms, sleep habits, when they feel most energized, when they feel most alert. Some people are morning people, some people are night people, all those things, right? So what we want to do is we want to develop a business that supports the lifestyle that we want. See, a lot of people build a business and then they're like, okay, now I got to figure out where to like cram my life into the nooks and crannies of whatever's left. We invert that. We want to get clarity on what we want our life to look like, i.e. the morning formula, right? Paint the picture of what you want your life to look like, and then craft a business that supports that. Once you have that in place, then you need to figure out, well, how does that actually get done tactically on a day-to-day basis? What does this actually look like? And that's where we get into time blocking. And these time blocks are just color codes. Color coding is a very simple way of being able to add a, within seconds, I can look at this and see where my balance is, right? You can use different colors for yourself. You can do whatever the heck you want. Again, I'm just sharing this from a more of a conceptual level, and you guys can decide how you want to implement this for yourself. You'll notice that the yellow for me is what we would just call like buffer time or just basically blank space. So you have like wake up hours here. You'll notice at 8 a.m., I have a buffer period of 30 minutes. I'll typically like be driving my daughter to school and things like that there. Again, you want to build in buffers throughout your day. I've associated green with like production elements. So this is publishing content or all the emails, administrative work, team communications, et cetera, et cetera. Red, naturally, you can see here are meetings. And then we have like the deep red, which is deep work. Orange being client calls. We are currently in this time block right here for LaunchKit coaching calls. So this is really close to mine. Mine's changed slightly since then, but I wanted to give you this because it gives you a nice feel for like the variety that you can build into your calendar. But there's a couple nuances that I want to highlight that may or may not be prevalent when you first look at this. Number one, you'll notice that I've stacked my project and deep work time towards the end of my days. Some people, that's not going to work. For some, you might find that, you know what, I am in best in my flow state when I get up in the morning before the phones start ringing, the emails are going, the kids are screaming, whatever, right? And you just get up early and you get into your deep work mode. If that's you, fantastic. For me, not so much. I find that the urgencies of the day and all these ideas of things I want to get done are interrupting that more creative flow state that I'm looking for when I'm building out bigger projects. Projects for me are like curriculum, planning out podcasts and writing books and those types of things, right? That's like deep work mode here, or creating internal systems and SOPs for us here within the company. That's where my brain is being used for that type of thing. I find it better at the end of the day. I just really enjoy it. So I kind of get into my zone, and I don't want to have to get out of my zone until I want to get out of the zone. And so I'll be able to run this as deep into the day as I want, but I typically give myself a hard stop around 5 or 6, depending on what else is going on the personal side of things. Again, this is just me. I typically want to get my content publishing done earlier, though. I do find, for me, again, this is just personal, if I'm going to be publishing content, whether it's writing emails, dropping posts inside our communities or on Facebook or otherwise, I typically like to do that in the morning hours. Kind of helps me get my brain going, but also I'm not yet being bombarded by a bunch of messaging and things like that. You'll notice I've rotated my workout times. So I'm running and stretching in the mornings here. Wednesday, this is something that I've implemented just about, I'd say about a month ago, based on Taylor and I's talks about, we were both optimizing our calendars. And so now we're both doing this. Wednesdays are kind of what we call a lag day. So you'll notice I start basically an hour later. I get an hour longer sleep in the morning, and I don't go straight to workout mode. I push my workout to the end of the day. So what this allows me to do is get a slower start. I can just wake up, publish some content, get in some emails, go into lunch. We have our chamber client call, have some meetings, maybe some cleanup on the email, and then go straight into reading, thinking, planning phase. This is like study hours, things like that. And then into outdoors. So like for me, I really enjoy Wednesdays because they're like super fun and pretty chill compared to the other days. You'll notice I really don't have like a bunch of one-on-ones or anything happening during that day. By doing this though, this simple change of giving myself a lag morning made me get through the rest of the week way better. I was noticing that without that, by Friday morning, man, I'd be feeling it pretty good. We used to have like way more meetings on Monday, by the way. Like this was almost all red, right? Like we've just front loaded the week hard with all the team meetings and communications. And then steadily through the week, it was getting less and less and less. But by the time I got to Friday, I was burnt out. I was like feeling it big time. And so we've been moving things around. We've been getting rid of meetings. We've been inserting this lag day. And now I can go from Monday to Friday at peak state the entire time. I'll still feel a little bit tired on Friday, which is why I created another lag here. But again, it's almost all fun stuff here. You know, like it's not hard. There's not a lot of calls, that type of thing. So again, structure it however you see fit. But what I wanted to share with you is that a couple things. When you're first building this out, it takes longer than you think. You really got to like think through your day because we can all just sit behind a screen and go, oh yeah, yellow, green, blah, blah, that looks good, right? And theoretically, it looks good. But in theory and practice are very different things. And so what will happen is my suggestion to you is first build it the way you think it should be to optimize your perfect week. But then what will end up happening is you're going to try to live by it. And then you realize like, oh man, this is not working. Like I'm getting to this part of my day and then this gets interrupted. And then all of a sudden I'm behind on my time blocks and it all goes to hell, right? So you got to kind of manipulate. It's iterative, just like everything else we do in LaunchKit. You got to kind of revisit it and keep optimizing it. Case in point, this is probably the 4th or 5th iteration I've had of my time blocking since being on with TWC. So it's just this constant iteration as the business changes, as the demands on my time change, and just to constantly improve it. So number one, it's iterative. Be prepared for the idea that you're going to need to come back and fix it. Number two, outside of my screen here that you can't see, I have a whole separate monitor right here. And there's nothing on it except for this time block that you're looking at. It's literally half the monitor is just the time block. The other half of the monitor is my Google Calendar with all my appointments for the day. And so what I'm doing, and this stays on all day in front of me. So when I'm kind of in the command center here and I'm working, I look up at the clock and go like, okay, it's 1:15. Where should I be? Whoop. Okay, I got 5 minutes left before I hit that next time block, right? So I use this as like my regulator, right? It's constantly reminding me where should I be at throughout my day. And it helps me make sure that I'm not confusing, again, just a bunch of task checkoffs for being productive. Like what is it that you're trying to achieve at the end of the day? Now, there's a lot of things you could add to this if you want. I won't go too long on it for the sake of brevity here. But again, this is just a template that I reference all day, every week long, right? Like it just stays static. If you want to get like really custom, you can make a new tab for each week and add little notes like goals. If you want to track something for the day, I mean, there's all kinds of things you can do. Again, just don't confuse the complexity for being better if it's causes you more work or it slows you down in any way. So that's this template that I want to share with you. The other component is the war map concept. This is the year in advance. Again, you can have this template. You can change it however you want. The weekends are grayed out, right? Saturdays and Sundays. And you can color code your month and year as well. And so you could have, red is regular holidays, orange birthdays, yellow is family stuff, green days of full work days, whatever. But the idea is as soon as you start to build out your month and your year, you start realizing, holy crap, like I actually don't have that much time to do everything that I'm trying to do. So if you reverse engineer your year into your weeks, you'll very quickly realize, wow, there's some urgency there. And the funny thing about work is that it will take as much time as you give it. So one of the best things you can do as an entrepreneur is self-imposed deadlines. Because if you say, well, it's, yeah, I'm 6 months from now, we're gonna have this thing. That's our goal, 6 months. Okay, well, guess what? It's gonna take you 6 months or more. But if you are challenged and pressed, and I said, hang on, we need to get this done in 2 months, you probably figure it out. So what's the difference between the 6 months and the 2 months? Well, obviously urgency. And then all of a sudden we get our focus compressed down to thinking, what am I going to do? And more importantly, what am I not going to do in order to support that goal? And that's where, like Ben was saying earlier, you know, the urgencies of all these other people start coming in. A lot of times that can be a derivative of not having clarity of what's most important to us. Like, we have these things. Hey, that's awesome. That's urgent for you, but it's not a priority for me. And learning to be able to be really hardlined. It's not easy. It's easier said than done, to be sure. But that's why even after all these years of using this concept, it's still right in front of my face all day long, every day. Again, basic concepts, but I wanted to share this with you. Let me know what questions you have for me on this, and then we can move into more of an open Q&A format.